Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Okay, so this right here, this is the exact kind of bloated, vote-buying, government handout nonsense that defines the modern Democrat Party. And it's always the same marketing scheme. Stacey Abrams gets exposed as being a recipient of a $2 billion grant for her environmental nonprofit. It creates all kinds of buzz online, and then now Stacey Abrams comes to justify the expense, and she gives her pitch, and you'll see here in a second, you might actually be convinced that this is a good program, because the way Democrats present things always sounds utopic. It sounds like a good idea, like a useful and good program that's helping people. But then once you start to mull it over, once you start to think a little bit, you start to see the holes. And like every other bloated Democrat program, it's filled with them, like a slab of Swiss cheese. And then you start to see the corruption and the possibility for corruption. Stacey Abrams explains her $2 billion slush fund, and it's got me immediately thinking about Obama phones. You know, the Obama phones weren't enough. Now we got Biden fridges. Stacey Abrams is out here playing Oprah with taxpayer money, trying to convince people that buying new appliances for people, for select individuals, is somehow part of an effective and sound energy policy. A needed program to reduce people's energy bills. Really, it's a whole lot of feel-good, commie gobbledygook. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on here. And let's insert some real rational analysis. Instead of falling for the Democrats' emotional play, we got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so just take a look at this.
My understanding is the program at the source of this whole thing is a program to lower costs for people. Do I have that top line correct?
You have it absolutely right.
Okay, so I'm gonna play what he had to say, and then I'm gonna ask you to explain what the program is that was such an obvious, ludicrous laugh line for the Republicans there. Take a listen.
$1.9 billion to recently created Decarbonization of Homes Committee, headed up, and we know she's involved. Just at the last moment, the money was passed over by a woman named Stacey Abrams. Have you ever heard of her?
Okay, so what is this organization? What is your relation to it, and what does it do?
In 2023 and 2024, I led a program called Vitalizing DeSoto. We worked in a tiny town in South Georgia to demonstrate that by replacing energy inefficient appliances with efficient appliances, you can lower your cost. And in fact, we accomplished that. For 75% of the community, they got appliances that are lowering their bills right now. We had one woman who saw her electric bill cut in half from $180 to $98. That's what we delivered. And based on that program, a coalition of famous organizations came together and said, if we can do this here, we can do this for millions more Americans. Let us invest the money of America in lowering the cost for Americans. And the EPA said, okay, great, go for it.
So that's what the program was for. $2 billion to buy people more energy efficient appliances. It'll save people money on their energy bills. And apparently the results are just unbelievable. I mean, literally unbelievable. According to Stacey Abrams, one person in their so-called pilot program saw their energy bill get cut in half just by swapping appliances. Do we look stupid? That's the most ridiculous claim I think I've ever heard. Now, I'm no expert. I haven't been able to do the math, but you're telling me that an old fridge and stove are single-handedly responsible for half this person's electricity bill? Not heating, not cooling, not water heaters, just appliances? I mean, give me a break. I know Energy Star appliances are great and they'll save you money, but the claim that she's making, frankly, just doesn't appeal to my common sense. And it's funny how she points to one person having this miracle result. What about everybody else? Where's the presentation for the average? How much were people actually saving? You know, it seems dubious at best. It seems like they're making a claim here to emotionally target your heartstrings. Oh, well, there's just these grandmas in rural areas who got these energy sucker appliances and their bills are astronomical. And so we got to spend $2 billion getting them a whole new set. But if this was to happen, if this program was to actually materialize, and thankfully it never did end up getting implemented, and look, I want to clarify a common misconception that I'm seeing online. Stacey Abrams did not get $2 billion to change people's appliances in DeSoto, Georgia. That was just a pilot program. There's a lot of people saying they spent $11 million per household. That's not true. They had a small pilot program, and then they were supposed to receive $2 billion to continue the work that they were doing, but Lee Zeldin cut off the source of funds almost immediately. But anyways, if this program were to actually be implemented, how many people would it actually help? And would these far-left bureaucrats really be able to get the job done properly? You know, I look at Stacey Abrams and I'm thinking about the average people that are running these types of NGOs. They don't really seem like experts in logistics and wholesale purchasing. And that to me is a glaring issue. A $2 billion program, I mean, with that kind of cash, they should be able to service hundreds of thousands of homes. But I have a feeling if this program was to be implemented, they probably would do a couple thousand at best, maybe a couple tens of thousands, and likely there'd be little to no oversight. It's just not something that makes sense to me, and the hypocrisy is also mind-blowing, because these are the same Democrats who made energy so unaffordable in the first place. They shut down pipelines, they suffocated domestic production, they overregulated the entire energy sector into oblivion. In 2022 alone, energy costs soared 14.3% thanks to their idiotic environmental policies, and now they want to fix the problem they created by spending more of your money? Why not just lower the energy costs for everybody by stopping your insane war on American energy? You know, it's the typical Democrat grift. Oh, we're doing all this good work. We need to tackle this problem that we created by printing more money and then throwing money at a bunch of useless bureaucrats. It's a total grift. It's a total scam. Oh, but trust me, it's effective, and us Democrats, we know how to get things done. Give me a freaking break. They put together this cushy-sounding, charity-style pilot program. They likely fudged the frickin' numbers, 50% energy reduction, give me a break, and then landed themselves a $2 billion contract. It reeks of big government bureaucrat corruption. And let's have that conversation, right, where this money actually goes. When Democrats create massive spending programs like this, it's never just about the help that they claim to be providing. It's about handing out cushy government contracts, funneling taxpayer money to Democrat-aligned organizations, and making sure well-connected bureaucrats and consultants get filthy frickin' rich. You think these appliances are going to be bought at market price? No frickin' way. They'd probably be paying triple for everything, lining the pockets of politically connected green corporations. And the question I have immediately is how much of that $2 billion do you think would actually go towards appliances instead of the bloated administrative costs of bureaucrats running the damn program? You'd have a small army of six-figure government employees sitting in office buildings pretending to administer the project while barely anyone actually gets a frickin' new fridge. And that's not even the biggest and most glaring issue. There's also a pretty deep conflict of interest. This program could very easily be viewed as nothing but another giant vote-buying scheme. Just like the Obama phones, just like welfare handouts and student loan forgiveness gimmicks. This is designed to create dependency. It's not about energy efficiency. It's about making people think the Democrats are their personal Santa Claus. Every election season, it's Christmas. They promise free crap, and in exchange, they expect lifelong loyalty at the ballot box. That's why Democrats don't actually solve problems. They create problems and then throw money at the symptoms, making sure the root cause never actually gets addressed or goes away. So look, I know Stacey Abrams' appeal here sounded good, and some people might initially fall for it and think, wow, that's an effective program. It makes sense. Get people energy efficient appliances and their energy bill will go down. That's a good thing. But can you trust them to actually administer this program? Is it a good use of taxpayer funds when the country is plunging into further and further unsustainable debt? And again, it doesn't tackle the actual core issue. And at the end of the day, it's not government's job. The government's job should be providing basic necessities for those in need and providing basic services, not buying grandma a new fridge. And so at the end of the day, it sounds good, you might fall for it, but it's another green scam. And there's no defending this program in my view. It's pure waste. It's a program that is open for corruption, and also I think it's shameless political bribery disguised as helping the poor. Stacey Abrams and her big government grifter pals should be nowhere near taxpayer money, because every time these big government Democrats get their hands on it, it disappears into a black hole of incompetence and corruption. And that's basically my take. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.